God, I really hate the IWC, bro. I really hate the IWC. So now I'm seeing videos of, they're saying Triple H buried Karrion Kross at SummerSlam. And, this YouTuber saying that, he didn't hear no Karrion Kross chants at SummerSlam. Well, go get your ears checked. Then he's saying, the R-Truth hype has died and, we all moved on from R-Truth. That's not true. That is not true. The reason people aren't checking for R-Truth no more is because they know Triple H killed the story. If we would still chant R-Truth and want R-Truth if they actually gave us a true storyline with R-Truth. If they gave us something with R-Truth. R-Truth isn't wrestling weekly. I don't think R-Truth is wrestling monthly. But, the fans didn't give up on R-Truth. Okay, we want to see R-Truth. We want to see R-Truth actually with the title. And we could have actually had a decent story with R-Truth. But they're feeding us Aleister Black and Damian Priest. We can't go from R-Truth versus Cena to R-Truth versus Aleister Black, and then you remove Truth and have a Damian Priest and Aleister Black feud. That's not the fans' fault. The fans aren't creative. Man, y'all gotta stop listening to these YouTubers. The fans clearly care about Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross is actually on TV. Okay, that's what the fans wanted. The fans wanted Kross. They got Kross. They're getting Kross. I mean, where's the fake outrage with Karrion Kross now? We got him. Now, Triple H did troll the fans saying, oh, you want Brock? You got Brock. When they were clearly saying, we want Kross. I don't have a problem with what's going on with Karrion Kross as of now because, we're getting Karrion Kross. He's in a feud with Sami Zayn. That's fine. We're going to let this play out. But, you can't get mad at the fans if R-Truth isn't on TV. And if he's not on TV, it's not that the interest just isn't going down. The fans aren't going to keep chanting, we want Truth, and hijacking every match. Okay, they might do that twice, but Triple H has to book him. They have to. Now, if Triple H is cooking something up with R-Truth, that's fine if we get it later on. But is Triple H doing that? No. They're just going to let R-Truth contract probably run out. We're not going to get R-Truth versus Seth Rollins versus Brock versus Cena versus Cody anymore. R-Truth had a chance to even be a jobber to main event John Cena. R-Truth rose from lower mid-tier card to main event status pretty much overnight, and Triple H pulled the rug from under him. He had the whole IWC rooting for Truth. We could have got Cena versus Truth, got a little storyline. R-Truth could have turned him back face, but nope. Cena turns face on SmackDown because of nothing. You could have at least had R-Truth maybe beat him and turn him face. You could have saw the error of his ways or something. Man, Triple H ruined the R-Truth character. The fire that he had, he pulled the rug from under him. And he's really trolling Karrion Kross. I mean, Karrion Kross isn't that sad. You know, Karrion Kross losing to Sami Zayn 3 times in a row is sad. It's sad. You know, unless there's a bigger story from it, you just buried Karrion Kross. I mean, we don't need to see Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn ever again. They already fought 3 times. There's nothing they need to fight for. Not a street fight, not a ladder match, not a steel cage. You know, the only thing I would want to see is Hell in a Cell, Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. And Karrion Kross don't have enough star power, I think, to really pull that off. I mean, you need to earn your stripes. You need to, you know, get some stuff under your belt. But, you know, that's all I got for y'all right now. But, you know, that's really all I gotta say. I mean, stop listening to these YouTubers that, you know, tell y'all lies. The fans didn't turn on R-Truth. Triple H booked them into oblivion, pulled the rug from under R-Truth. You know, R-Truth was standing on top of the ladder and Triple H threw the ladder down. And R-Truth went through, you know, under the ring. You know, that's what Triple H did. Now, he's giving Karrion Kross TV time, but he's booking that wrong. So, Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn, that's over with. That is over with. We want Kross, but we don't want this. Man, Triple H is ruining wrestling, not John Cena. Peace.